Everything about it.
The story opens with a ruthless biker gang known as the Outcasts gathering at their headquarters, which operates under the cover of a bar but is secretly a drug lab. The gang is led by a man named Danny. His biological son Jojo and his loyal right-hand man Dalton are also present unknown to the gang. Dalton is actually an undercover agent named Broker. That same night, law enforcement prepares a raid on the gang's hideout. After Broker gives the signal from inside, the agents launch their attack. The gang refuses to surrender and engages in a shootout during the chaos. Danny and Jojo manage to flee by car. Broker chases them on a motorcycle. Danny is eventually cornered, but before he can be captured, he attempts to ram Broker. Broker jumps to safety, and Danny's car catches fire. Danny cooperates with Broker, but Jojo resists and is shot dead by the police. Witnessing his son's death, Danny is enraged and swears revenge on Broker. Broker, deeply affected by Jojo's death, resigns from the force 2 years later. Broker lives peacefully with his daughter Maddie in a small village. One day at school, Maddie is harassed by a boy named Teddy who steals her hat. She tries to get it back politely, but when Teddy continues to mock her, she hits him and bloodies his nose. A teacher witnesses the scene and brings her to the school office. Meanwhile, Broker is fixing stairs with his friend Tito when he gets a call from the school. At the school, he meets Teddy's angry parents, Cassie and Jimmy. Maddie explains that Teddy started the trouble. Broker trusts his daughter and doesn't punish her. When they leave, Cassie and Jimmy confront them again outside. Broker remains calm, but when Jimmy tries to punch him, Broker swiftly counters and throws him to the ground. Cassie and Jimmy leave furious. The local sheriff warns Broker about Cassie's volatile family background and urges him to avoid escalating the situation. The story shifts to a group of teens partying in an abandoned house. A violent drug dealer named Gator Bodine storms in and breaks one teen's leg to assert dominance. He steals their drugs for himself. It's revealed that Cassie is Gator's sister. She complains to him about Broker and asks him to teach Broker a lesson. She also begs for drugs, claiming she needs them for her headaches. The next day, Broker meets Maddie's teacher Susan and invites her to Maddie's upcoming birthday party. Susan advises Broker to resolve the tension with the locals to avoid further issues. Broker takes the advice and apologizes to Jimmy, who accepts it. However, at a gas station later, two of Gator's men try to provoke Broker into a fight. Broker stays calm at first, but when they threaten Maddie, he snaps and beats them both. Gator learns about the incident and is furious that someone dared to humiliate him. He vows to deal with Broker personally. Meanwhile, Broker and Maddie go horseback riding, unaware that Gator is watching them from a distance. Gator punctures Broker's car tire and sneaks into the house, stealing Maddie's favorite doll and cat. He also finds and steals Broker's secret files that night. Maddie realizes her doll is missing and can't sleep. Broker goes outside to investigate and discovers the slashed tire and the doll's head stuck in a tree. He becomes uneasy, fearing for Maddie's safety. Gator studies the stolen files and discovers Broker's real identity as a former Special Forces operative and undercover agent in the Outcast gang. He learns that Broker was responsible for Jojo's death. Gator contacts Cheryl, a woman with a criminal past, and convinces her to deliver the files to Danny, who is still in prison. Cheryl is reluctant at first, but agrees when Gator promises her and himself a partnership in Danny's drug business. Meanwhile, Broker confronts Jimmy, thinking he's behind the recent terror. He warns Jimmy not to mess with him. Then he buys Maddie a new doll to cheer her up. Cheryl gives the files to Danny's lawyer, who then shows them to Danny. Enraged, Danny orders the Broker to be taken out at any cost. The next morning, Maddie apologizes to Teddy and invites him and his mother to her birthday party. Broker also apologizes to Cassie. At home, Broker and Tito prepare for the celebration. Tito tells Broker that Jimmy isn't behind the harassment and suspects Gator, Cassie's brother. He explains Gator runs a drug operation out of a fake car repair shop by the river, protected by the sheriff. Tito warns Broker that if he wants to find Gator, that's where he should. Goth party begins, and Cassie and Teddy attend, showing signs of reconciliation. Meanwhile, Cyrus, Danny's most vicious subordinate, arrives in the village and meets with Cheryl. He demands to know where Broker lives. Cheryl hesitates, but gives in after being threatened. Cassie later tells Gator to back off from Broker and asks again for drugs. Gator refuses, worried she'll overdose. Broker, suspecting danger, contacts an old friend to dig into Gator's criminal past. The friend warns him about Gator's corrupt ties and confirms Cheryl's link to Danny. Broker confronts Gator and Cheryl at a local eatery, warning them to stay away from his family. He then sneaks into Gator's workshop and discovers the hidden drug lab. He rigs the lights with explosives so the whole place will blow up when switched on. Before leaving, he finds Maddie's missing cat, but is ambushed and knocked out despite being tortured. Broker escapes using his elite skills and defeats Gator's men. Meanwhile, Cyrus arrives with reinforcements. Gator fears a shootout could expose his operations. Cyrus asks Gator to join forces, but Gator refuses. Cheryl, now a hostage, is forced to guide Cyrus' men. Broker tells Tito to bring the horses home as a precaution. Soon, Cyrus' gang surrounds the property. Tito is shot while alerting Broker. Broker hides Maddie and tells her to call the police. He grabs a shotgun, and a fierce gunfight erupts. Maddie is discovered and flees into the forest. Cheryl hears the chaos and contacts Gator, saying Broker's home has turned into a war zone. Broker eliminates the attackers and runs to save Maddie. Just in time, he shoots a man trying to harm her. Cyrus follows and engages Broker in a brutal fight. Broker urges Maddie to escape. He eventually defeats Cyrus. Cheryl captures Maddie and takes her by boat. Broker returns home and finds Tito alive. Maddie manages to contact Broker and reveals she's near a large fan by the river. Broker realizes she's at Gator's drug facility and races there in a police car. Gator is shocked to find Maddie at his house. Cassie and Jimmy also show up unexpectedly. Gator hides Maddie, but she screams, alerting Cassie. When the lights are turned on, the explosives detonate, destroying the drugs. Gator, enraged by the loss, tries to take Maddie from Cassie. A struggle ensues, and Gator accidentally shoots his sister. He grabs Maddie and flees, but Broker and the police are close behind. Gator tries to cross a bridge, but Broker's car rams it. Gator attempts to shoot Broker, but he misses, and Broker beats him. Before he can shoot Gator, he looks at Maddie and spares his life. Cheryl and Gator are arrested, while Tito and Cassie are taken to the hospital to be treated. Broker visits Danny T in prison and says that when Danny T gets out, he will be waiting. Thank you for watching, and if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe.